a real blessing to be able to be with you here on this Monday. Today is the beginning of our major outreach time in the summer. Dino World this year is the theme, and we're excited to have Dino Dave Wetzel here with us, along with Dr. June Kojima and Colonel Willis, and all of them are part of an exciting program to hundreds of people in our community, and we would certainly appreciate your prayer that God will mightily work. Thousands and thousands of people in our community know about it, and we are just asking God to do a greater work than we've ever seen this year. Today I'd like to look at John chapter 2, an interesting little set of verses here that helps us understand that God knows the heart of man. We continually get shocked as we see how hard sometimes mankind is, and we're seeing how wickedness can just prevail and how corruption can come into some of the best institutions in the world. Well, it's because we are depraved. And in chapter 2 of John, in the early ministry of the Lord, we read, "Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men." He knew their hearts, he knew their motives, he knew what was really going on. And it goes on, and this is really interesting, verse 25, "And needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man." When he was here on this earth, you can imagine the pure, holy Son of God, how he must have felt rubbing shoulders with mankind, sinful human race. And yet he came because he loved the world. And he very much responded to those that had a heart to listen and to put their trust in him. And yet he did not have a false trust in mankind. He didn't trust outward personality. He didn't trust good works. He did not trust the sometimes flattery that would come and trying to gain favor with him. He was never moved by any of that because he knew what was in the heart of man. Now, I bring this up because we need to continually remind ourselves as we hear reports of corruption, we hear reports of just straight out lying, we hear reports around the world of atrocities done to believers, and even in our own country, the beginnings of persecution of people that are endeavoring to take a stand. And when we hear these things, we need to realize just what Jesus said, what is truly in the heart of man. We don't need to throw up our hands in despair. This is the way it's always been. It will be that way until the end time. God will make all things right. But right now, we are in a position to reach mankind that is truly in a sinful condition with the gospel, which is their only hope. If we get thrown by the condition of man, we will never have confidence to reach sinful man, just like all of us are, with the good news of the gospel. And I do believe many believers get very reactive and lose their heart of love for the lost world. We need to be like the Lord. He loved the world. He kept working with them, and yet he was never fooled by what was going on. He knew how wicked man was, and we need to understand that too. The Bible's true, but we are God's instruments to reach this wicked world with the gospel, which is their only hope. May God give us that kind of attitude.